Congratulations. Yes, congratulations. Not because of luck, not because of chance, but because God Himself has chosen you to hear this message before the appointed time. If this message reaches you before the 24th of October, I tell you, it is not an accident. You are being positioned, prepared, and called by divine design. There are no coincidences when it comes to God. Everything He allows to reach you carries a spiritual assignment, and this one carries the weight of destiny. You have been wondering, waiting, and now God says, this is your confirmation. Something is about to shift in your life. The wind that has been silent is about to blow again. The doors that have refused to open are about to move. The delay that mocked you is about to turn into acceleration. But listen carefully, this message reached you not to entertain you, but to awaken you. Before the 24th of October, something unseen is aligning in the realm of the Spirit. God has placed your name on the calendar of change. He is moving quietly, but powerfully in the background. And if you are hearing this, it means you are being invited to participate in what He is doing, not as a bystander, but as a chosen vessel of transformation. For too long, you have doubted your own timing. You have questioned why others rise while you wait. You have felt hidden, unseen, forgotten. But God hides those He wants to honor later. He conceals before He reveals. The seed is buried before it blossoms. You have been underground, not because you were rejected, but because you were protected. God was guarding your potential until the season of manifestation. And that season, my friend, is now approaching. You must understand, every divine miracle begins with a divine warning. Every shift begins with a signal. This message is that signal. God never allows destiny to sneak up on you without a whisper. If this message reached you before October 24th, it is that whisper. The whisper before the storm of blessing. The still voice before the thunder of breakthrough. Your waiting was not wasted. Your pain was not pointless. Every tear, every prayer, every silent night, when you thought God had forgotten you, they were recorded in heaven. You were being shaped in the shadows for a stage that only God could build. And now the stage is ready. You see, many think blessings fall randomly. They think success comes by accident. But nothing in the spiritual realm is random. The hand of God moves with precision. He sets times, He ordains seasons. He prepares moments where your obedience meets His purpose, and everything changes. If this message reached you, it's because you are standing on one of those divine intersections. This is not a season to be distracted. The enemy will try to blur your focus with noise, with fear, with unnecessary people, with unnecessary emotions. Because he knows what you don't, that when your moment comes, it will not knock twice. This message is your reminder to stay alert, stay faithful, stay grounded in God. Something is coming that your eyes have not seen, your ears have not heard, and your mind cannot yet imagine. But your spirit can feel it. That's why you've been restless lately. That's why you felt like something is shifting, even though you can't explain it. God is stirring your spirit ahead of your circumstances. He is preparing your inner world before He rearranges your outer world. Don't be surprised if some things begin to fall apart before the 24th. When God is about to rebuild, He allows certain walls to collapse. The shaking is not to destroy you, it's to remove what can't go with you into the next season. The people leaving your life are not rejection, they are redirection. The silence you feel from heaven is not absence, it is preparation. You have prayed for open doors, but God sometimes answers by closing others. You have asked for new blessings, but God sometimes answers by pruning what is dying. He knows that if He gave you the next level without cleansing your circle, it would destroy you. So instead of rushing your blessing, He refines your character. Instead of giving you what you want, He gives you what you need. Wisdom, endurance, discernment, and a heart that still trusts Him when nothing makes sense. You must be ready for divine contradiction. God's path rarely looks like progress at first. He often leads you through valleys before mountains, through droughts before rain. He hides His richest treasures in your darkest moments. But that is how He proves you. That is how He tests whether your faith is built on convenience or conviction. Between now and the 24th, you must be vigilant. Guard your thoughts like a soldier. Do not entertain voices of fear, defeat, or doubt. The enemy cannot destroy what God has ordained, but he can delay it by distracting you. The battle now is not physical, it's mental, emotional, spiritual. If he can exhaust your faith, he can make you abort your miracle. But you must declare, I will not lose focus before my breakthrough. When you feel pressure, know this. Pressure is the announcement that something powerful is about to be birthed. The enemy never attacks what is empty. He only attacks what is carrying value. So if your warfare has intensified, if your nights have grown heavier, if your emotions feel unstable, take heart. The attack is the evidence that your destiny is close. God is not late. He is exact. You may have thought the delay meant denial, but it was divine scheduling. The 24th is not just a date, it is a doorway. Heaven has timelines, and you are being positioned on one. Your obedience in this season will determine what enters your life in the next. Between now and that date, speak life. Declare abundance. Walk with gratitude even before you see the result. Because gratitude creates spiritual gravity. It pulls miracles toward you. When you thank God for what hasn't manifested yet, you prove your faith. And faith is the currency that moves the unseen into the seen. There are blessings already in motion with your name on them. Contracts, connections, opportunities, and healings are traveling through invisible channels. You may not see them, but heaven is rearranging. The right people are being positioned. The right doors are being unlocked. God is commanding resources to find you. All you need to do is remain in alignment. Stay faithful, stay pure, stay surrendered. When God releases what He has promised, it will not be small, it will not be ordinary, it will not look like what you imagined, it will exceed it. Because when God restores, He multiplies. When He blesses, He overflows us. When He lifts, He does so in a way that silences every doubter. Whoever questioned your calling, you are entering a period of divine visibility. The same people who overlooked you will soon recognize the hand of God upon you. The same situation that humiliated you will soon become your testimony. The season that made you cry will become the story that makes others believe. But remember, don't seek the spotlight, seek God's light. It is better to shine by grace than to burn out by ambition. This is why God has been teaching you patience. He has been showing you how to depend on Him, not on applause, not on validation, not on instant results. Because if you anchor your peace in people, you will lose it when they change. But when your peace is rooted in God, no storm can shake you. Do not fear the unknown. Do not fear what you cannot control. The hands that formed the universe are the same hands guiding your path. Even the delays have purpose. Even the detours are divine. You may not understand everything now, but one day you will look back and realize every no was making room for a greater yes. Every closed door was a redirection toward destiny. Every heartbreak was a lesson that purified your love for God. If this message has reached you before the 24th of October, it is not only a sign of divine timing, it is a spiritual summons. God has chosen to interrupt your ordinary rhythm, to remind you of something extraordinary, that you are standing on the edge of a divine turning point. There are moments in life when heaven leans closer to the earth, when God's hand moves with accelerated grace, and those who are spiritually awake can sense it before they see it. You are one of those who can feel it. That quiet urgency in your spirit, that restlessness that refuses to be explained by logic. That is not anxiety. That is God stirring your soul for what is about to come. There is something sacred about being chosen to hear a word before its appointed fulfillment. God speaks to the prepared. He does not waste revelation on those who do not listen. If your eyes are reading this, if your ears are hearing this, it means you are not being overlooked. You are being untrusted. Untrusted with awareness, entrusted with purpose, untrusted with preparation. Because what God is about to do in your life cannot be handled by who you used to be. It requires a version of you that has been refined through waiting, stretched through faith, and purified through fire. Do not misinterpret the silence of God as absence. Silence is often the language of construction. When the builder works, the house makes no sound. When God is constructing your destiny, it may look like nothing is happening, but deep in the unseen, the foundation is being strengthened. You prayed for answers, but God is building capacity. You asked for breakthrough, but He is forming wisdom. You desired quick results, but He is crafting eternal fruit. The delay is not denial, it is design. And right now, as you stand before the 24th of October, heaven is completing something behind the veil. There are alignments you cannot yet see. Connections between people, timing, and events that will converge perfectly to reveal the power of God's orchestration. Your responsibility is not to understand everything, but to remain faithful to your calling. When God moves, understanding follows obedience. This is the moment to silence the noise around you. The world is loud with opinions, comparisons, and distractions. But clarity is born in quietness. Spend this season in the stillness of reflection. When you quiet your environment, you begin to hear God in the echoes of your own spirit. That still, calm awareness that tells you, Something is near. Do not drown it in the chaos of the world. Protect your sensitivity to divine timing, because one distraction can make you miss a divine appointment. Some of you are being tested with loneliness in this season. Do not fight it. Isolation is not always a punishment. Sometimes it is preparation. When God wants to reveal something deep, He pulls you away from noise. The separation is not rejection. It is refinement. You are not being excluded. You are being preserved. When God hides you, it's because He knows the world is not ready for the version of you that is about to emerge. Every chosen soul must go through a season of silence before divine revelation. Look at nature. The seed spends its longest time in the darkness of the soil before it breaks forth into the light. You are in that same process. What looks like burial is actually planting. You may feel covered, unseen, forgotten. But in truth, you are growing roots, and roots grow in silence. Do not despise the days of small beginnings. Every great destiny begins in obscurity. The unseen years are where spiritual strength is born. God does not bless the unprepared. He blesses the faithful. Those who remain consistent in silence are those who can carry glory in public. Because divine promotion without inner preparation becomes destruction. That is why you had to wait, why you had to lose, why you had to endure. Every trial you faced was not wasted pain. It was sacred training. If you have been carrying heavy burdens, if you have cried silently through sleepless nights, know this: your tears have not been ignored. God measures your tears like treasures. Every tear you shed in faith waters the field of your future. When you cried, heaven was listening. When you broke, heaven was building. When you surrendered, heaven began to move. You are not broken. You are being molded into something divine. There are people who may not understand the weight you carry, but you must stop explaining spiritual warfare to those who have never fought in the Spirit. This journey is not for everyone to comprehend. You are walking a path designed uniquely for you. God is using you to demonstrate what faith looks like in darkness. Others may have given up by now, but you endured because your spirit knows God is not done with you. And hear this clearly. Before the 24th of October, you will notice a spiritual acceleration. For some, it will come through opportunity. For others, through revelation. God will start revealing why things had to happen the way they did. You will begin to connect the dots between past confusion and present clarity. What was once a source of pain will now become the foundation of wisdom. But as your life begins to shift, do not let pride enter your heart. Blessings are tests disguised as rewards. God watches how you handle increase. Whether you stay humble when elevated, grateful when blessed, generous when favored. The true measure of spiritual maturity is not how high you rise, but how low you bow when God lifts you. You must also be prepared to release what no longer serves your purpose. Not everything or everyone that started with you can continue with you. God is calling you to travel lighter into the next season. Let go of the weight of guilt, resentment, and overthinking. You cannot run toward your future while dragging the corpses of the past. What is dead must stay buried, so what is alive can flourish. If this message has reached you before the 24th, it means God is issuing a sacred command. Prepare yourself. This preparation is not physical, it is spiritual. Clean your thoughts. Purify your speech. Renew your intentions. Align your will with His. Because when divine timing meets divine readiness, miracles manifest effortlessly. There is a realm of blessing that can only be entered by those whose hearts are surrendered. The proud miss it, the distracted ignore it, but the humble inherit it. God will not give what you cannot carry. So if the blessing has not yet arrived, it means the vessel is still being shaped. When the vessel is ready, the oil will flow. The 24th is not about superstition, it is about synchronization. There is a reason God is marking your awareness before that day. It is because He desires your cooperation in what He is planning. He could do it without you, but He wants to do it through you. This is divine partnership. Heaven moving with earth through alignment. Every time you choose faith over fear, obedience over impulse, peace over panic, you align yourself closer to the will of God. And alignment is what creates acceleration. You cannot be misaligned and expect miracles before the 24th. Your greatest task is not to chase opportunity. It is to maintain alignment. Be very careful what you say in this season. Words are spiritual forces. Every complaint weakens your faith. Every declaration strengthens your reality. Speak life. Even when nothing looks alive, declare that life is coming. God responds to faith, not frustration. When you speak in alignment with His truth, you give permission for heaven to move on your behalf. Many have been praying for change, but few are willing to change themselves. God will not put new wine into old skins. He is not asking you to pray harder. He is asking you to trust deeper. Sometimes faith is not doing more, but surrendering more. Stop trying to control outcomes that are beyond your reach. The hand of God does not need your manipulation, it needs your cooperation. Between now and the 24th, you must protect your peace as sacred territory. Do not let the opinions of others poison your spirit. People will misunderstand you when you walk with divine focus. Let them talk. Your assignment is not to be understood, it is to be obedient. God will vindicate you in His time. And as this moment approaches, remember, when God moves, it is never partial. When He restores, He multiplies. When He favors, He overtakes. The same hand that allowed struggle will unleash abundance. The same path that looked barren will blossom with opportunity. The same voice that once cried for help will soon testify of victory. Congratulations again, because to be reached by this message before its appointed time means you are under divine observation. You are seen, you are known, you are marked. The heavens have not been silent. They have been recording your faith. And soon, that faith will speak for you. You will rise not by strength but by grace. You will be promoted not by people but by God. You will prosper not by chance but by alignment. Every moment of confusion will soon be replaced by clarity. Every burden will soon give way to blessing. Every hidden season will soon produce a public testimony. The message has reached you for a reason. It is your divine alert, your reminder that heaven's timing is about to collide with your reality. Do not waste these days. Walk with reverence, walk with awareness, walk with gratitude. Because when the 24th comes, the shift will not be subtle. It will be undeniable. And you will know that God had prepared you all along. If this message has found you before the 24th of October, then hear this truth with your entire being. Heaven has not forgotten you. The reason this message feels different, the reason your spirit responds even before your mind understands, is because God is stirring you to awareness. You are standing in a window of divine visitation. You are being called to attention, to sharpen your inner ear, to ready your soul for movement. God is about to breathe upon the dry ground of your life, and those areas you called impossible will soon begin to show signs of life. When God chooses a moment to elevate someone, He rarely announces it with noise. He moves quietly, almost invisibly. Yet if you are spiritually alert, you can sense His presence before His power manifests. That is where you are now. The stillness before divine eruption. Do not confuse quietness with inactivity. God's greatest miracles are often born in silence. The earth appears calm before an earthquake. The sky looks serene before rain. Likewise, this silence is the sacred pause before your divine unveiling. In this time, God is asking you to trust His pace. Trust that His slowness is strategic. Many lose their miracle because they grow impatient during preparation. You must resist the temptation. When you try to rush God, you step outside His rhythm. When you align with His pace, you walk in favor. Every delay has hidden wisdom. God stretches time so your spirit can grow into what you've been praying for. If He gave it to you too early, it would crush you. But now He sees your strength maturing, your discernment sharpening, your endurance deepening. The weight of glory you are about to carry requires this final stretch of preparation. Look closely at your circumstances. The things that once frustrated you are now revealing their purpose. The doors that closed were protection. The people who left were pruning. The confusion that tormented you was training. God is perfecting your sight so that when the blessing comes, you will recognize His fingerprint on it and not mistake it for coincidence. The true test of faith is not waiting, it is believing while waiting. Keep believing, keep watering your hope with gratitude. God is nearer than you think. Many people look for signs in the sky, but the true sign of divine timing is the stirring inside your soul. That inner shift you feel, that awareness that something unseen is taking form, is not imagination. It is spiritual sensitivity. The same way the ocean feels the pull of the moon before the tide rises, your spirit feels the pull of heaven before manifestation arrives. That pull you feel is God calling you to alignment. When He is about to act, He first awakens the heart. You may have thought your season of promise had expired. You may have whispered to yourself, maybe it wasn't meant for me. But what God speaks, He sustains. His word does not expire, it waits. The promises written over your life are still alive, breathing beneath the surface of time. Every step you've taken in obedience has been feeding those promises. They are not dead, they are ripening. Before the 24th, expect ripples in your life, small signs, subtle shifts, confirmations that God is rearranging the narrative. Do not fear these changes. Fear is the language of doubt, but faith is the language of destiny. Fear will whisper that you are unprepared. Faith will remind you that God prepares the cold. Fear focuses on what can go wrong. Faith focuses on who is in control. When God calls you forward, it means He has already gone ahead of you. The path may look uncertain, but it is secure because His presence walks before you. Every step you take in faith draws unseen support from heaven. During this sacred window, your words hold weight. Speak only what builds. Declare light over darkness, peace over confusion, abundance over lack. Your tongue is the pen that writes tomorrow. If you speak defeat, you invite delay. If you speak faith, you accelerate manifestation. God listens to the language of your heart more than